I was thinking about this quote that happens a lot, or that we see a lot on social media, which is, if you're a man, you need to understand that no one's coming for you. No one's coming to save you. And I think it's an interesting quote. But as a Christian, I was always, at least, what the Bible says, and I was always taught from the Bible, or at least I was taught by the Bible, that God's going to save us. God is the author and perfecter of our faith. God cares about us more than he does, the sparrows. He feeds the sparrows, etc. So I think that's true to some extent, but I also think the other thing's true too, is, who's coming to save us, right? As men, we can't be like women, and for the most part, most of us can't be like women and just marry a guy who's got money, or that's their mating strategy, that's their prerogative, that's what they barter with sexuality with, right? We can't do that, right? We have to buy the sex. We can't use the sex to get sustenance, right? Anyway, so I was thinking about also this movie, The Grey, one of my favorite movies with Liam Neeson. I don't know why I like movies like that, survival movies where, they're gritty and these guys got to go through this pain and suffering, whatever, to just survive, which is a totally interesting movie. I could make a whole podcast about that movie. But at the end of that movie, he's praying to God, and he's like, please help me, please, I need you now more than ever, please help me. And then he looks up and he's in the wolf's den, literally. Maybe that's metaphorical for fighting against Satan or fighting against sin. So much of that movie is metaphorical, right? But it has elements of believing in God and for survival and help. And it's interesting to note that he prays. He's like, God help me, right? And then he just says, fuck it, I'll do it myself. Because he realizes he's screwed. He realizes he's been walking in circles. Finally, he's in the wolf's den. He gets a little bit of hope because there's a loggers, he thinks there's a loggers camp close, but then bam, he's in the wolf's den. So he's like, fuck it, I'll do it myself. So he just prepares for a war. He goes to battle and he takes down the wolf with him. And I think they both die at the end. We don't really know. It's kind of a cliffhanger. You got to watch the end of the credits. But anyway, it's interesting. Does God help us just miraculously, or does he help us as we start to move out? Or are our backs always against the wall and God might help us, or he might not, right? Maybe that was his end. Maybe that was just his time to die. Maybe that was his fate and it was already predestined by God. Who knows, right? Some people have help, some people don't. Some people have their backs against the wall. As men, for the most part, we either produce or perish, unfortunately. It seems that way. I would hope God would help us, but unfortunately, a lot of times in my life, it doesn't seem like that. But I still believe in God, and I still try to have faith that he'll help. And it's a messed up world we live in, man. Really messed up world we live in a lot of ways. I would hope to give a message of hope to people, but it's hard to have hope, when you see everything crumbling around you. So ultimately, I would just say, yeah, God's real, and yeah, he does help us, but it might not be in the way we think. It might not be in the timing that we think, and it might be in a different way than we think, right? And sometimes it might look like loss. Sometimes it might look like he's not actually doing anything when maybe he really is, or there's some lesson behind it all. I don't know. But anyways, I just felt like saying that. Hope y'all are doing well. I'm out here on this lake, kind of doing a little bit of meditation, and it's a very nice, beautiful day. I appreciate that. Thanks for listening. Peace.